'cause I can't sleep through the night. Can't sleep through the night. Still see your face in the glass. Why do you call when you're short on cash? Can't sleep through the night. Fuck, that song is a banger. Stuck in my head, bro. Stuck in my head, bro. How are y'all doing? What's up? It's Trippy Tuesday, motherfucker. What's up? Today we got some shit to go down, bro. We're gonna, like we always do, end with the documentary about the Khazarian Mafia that we started a few streams ago. What's up, Scruff Meisters up in the house? We are Webb, bro, dropped the Tulsi Gabbard biolab files, and we're going to look into it regarding COVID and Dr. Fauci before we get to the end and watch that documentary. And then we got some clips that I was seeing on the internet, and maybe because I was like looking through Webb about Dr. Fauci and COVID-19. There's just some applicable clips that I found up over on freaking on X. Yeah, what's up? Big Tree Chad's in the house. What's up, dude? What's up, dude? I haven't seen you for a while, dude. What's up, dude? What's up? Tanelli. What's up, dude? YouTube, what's happening? Facebook, what's up, dude? We got one peeps on Facebook. Did they drop it in there? Come join us live. What's up, dude? Here we are. Dude, Scruffmeister, that's my homie, Ben Owens, bro. Bro, let me show you. That's the homie, Ben Owens, bro. He hasn't responded me for a few weeks, but we were supposed to chat, bro. You know what I'm saying? Ben Owens. You know what I mean? Boom, this guy right here. Let's go to his page. This guy. Right here, bro. Yeah, that's Ben Owens. That's the homie, bro. He runs We Fight Monsters in Memphis, and he was a drug addict that found sobriety and found God and started and actually bought a trap house that he used to use and get high in and turned it into like a safe haven for addicts and trafficking survivors, and just really just he's putting in workout over there, bro. Yeah, Ben Owens, bro. I'm trying to get him on the stream too. Did you guys see, bro? I'm so excited, bro. This is exciting to me. Check this out. You guys know who Zachary Loft is, or Zach Faust? Yeah. He finally emailed me back, bro. We're getting him on stream, homie. Cheers, bro. That's one been in the making, bro. If you're here, you can say what's up. If you're here, you can say hello. If you're here, I'm not on Kick yet. See, I'm steady climbing. Eventually it's going to be Kick, YouTube. It's going to be Kick as well, but right now it's Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. But yes, Kick is on the horizon. There's 3 people up in here on YouTube. Who's here on YouTube? If you've never been here before, say what's up. If you have been here before, what's goody in the hoodie? What's up, Julia? Dang. Just waiting for people to just trickle up on in here. Okay, what's up? We've got 4 people on Twitch. 4 people on Twitch. Let's go like this and just say at everyone. I just went live. What's up? Here we go. How are you? Oh, you found me from Kevin. What's up? Kevin is a human. Shout out, Kevin is a human. I appreciate you coming over. What's up, dude? Nicole, what's up? Nicole? Thank you for coming. We got some We got some bangers today. We got a pretty good opening message. I really hope this reaches a lot of people and just helps people deep to their soul. And then today, bro, we're going to dive into the COVID-19 files that just dropped, that got uploaded into Webb. If you don't know what Webb is the platform that I've used repeatedly on my stream that just gives me access to large data sets and allows me to compartmentalize and accumulate information all applicable to similar topic or key phrases or names or whatever, and allows me to pilfer through millions of documents to find what I'm looking for. The cool thing about Webb is that it doesn't hallucinate. It's not like ChatGPT or Grok or Perplexity. It only takes and gathers the answer from the specific data sets. I've shown you the Epstein ones. We've talked about Bigfoot, bro. We've looked at UFO files. They've got like all the spiritual text up inside of Webb as well. You can upload your own data sets. Webb's goated. Shout out Ian Carroll. Shout out Kevin is a Human. Webb. Shout out Buyer. Hell yeah. What's up, dude? What's up? Where is everybody at? What's up, Misty Carr? I see you in here. I see you, Misty Carr. I see you. I see you. We're just trickling in. It's been about 6 minutes. We've only got a few people on each platform. Just giving some time for some peeps to trickle up on in here. If you can, help the algorithm. Smash the like button. Share this video. Follow, like, subscribe. What the fuck is up, YouTube? Just kidding. I told my homegirl, Ashley, I would say that on the live stream. She had me cracking up, like literally laughing out loud one day when she was just like, what the fuck is up, YouTube? I can't even explain it. Yeah. First off, if we've got some new people up in here, you know what we might do right now, just for the people trickling on in here? Let me just go ahead and drop my Discord link. Do we have Team Human's got a Discord of over 250 people, bro. Let me just drop it in each of the chats. We've got all sorts of chats up over here on Discord, bro. Let me show you guys real fast before we get into the mindful message. Bro, let me see here. See that? We've got a do you want the red pill, a music chat, memes chat, show me your food recipes, promote your socials, an art chat. We've got all about house plants, the gateway, sun and moon, nature chat, Earth's creatures. We have a support group chat. We've got the Oracle, where people be doing tarot cards and tarot readings and up in there. We've got all about crystals. We've got a wellness chat for the things they don't want you to know about your health. And then we've got a connect with me chat. We've got a books chat. And then we just got the generalized little chit chatty. What's up, Tanel? She just joined. What's up, Honeybee? What's up? We just said what's up to both y'all. Yeah, don't worry. We got a bunch. This is a good place, to be 100% honest with you, Misty. This is a good place, bro. Team Humans Tripoverdrip Discord, bro. You can see if people are here. If you're in the Discord. Wait, Honeybees is up in the chat. Let's go, dude. Okay. Let me get my shit ready. All right, guys. Let's go. Cheers, mate. Top of the morning to ya. 6 on YouTube. Let's go. 4 on Twitch. 5 on Facebook. I'm glad to see all of you back. Anyone who's new here, I really appreciate you for even just clicking on this video. Can we just go ahead and just start the stream how it's supposed to be? What we're going to talk about is probably going to go lots of different directions, up, down, all arounds. It's the beautiful dance of life. We're looking for truths and information on some pretty controversial topics. So before we begin, can we just start the live stream before I get into the opening message? And just comment something that you're grateful for while I'm saying something that I'm grateful for. Gratitude is a human superpower. It's something that you can only do if you have intention to do it. It doesn't just happen naturally. And inside of gratitude, you shift your frequency to a frequency that will attract more abundance because you're appreciative and grateful for the things that are already here. That's how the laws of the universe work. You notice how people who always see the negative in things and they just always have something to say negative, It's because the universe is answering their requests and providing more things inside of their life so that they can observe and look and see the negative. So if you just take a few minutes out of your day and just really contemplate and be appreciative and genuinely deep into your heart grateful for the things that you already have, abundance will come. That's the laws of the universe, bro. I'm grateful that I am where I am today. It's been a long road. Being a spiritual human that's had an awakening, whether that's your third eye awakening or you're awakened to the matrix, both things are simple, beautiful, complex, and confusing. But I just wanted to put it out there that us humans out here that are fighting for humanity, bro, the ones that maybe people look to for words of advice, someone to confide in, someone to make them laugh, and most importantly, most humans on planet Earth just really just need somebody to listen to. And if that's you, I appreciate you for being here, because there's a whole bunch of warriors out there, like full-fledged spiritual warriors. We'll get right into this. Cheers. There are two paths a human can take after they have endured enough pain. Sure, you can become bitter, or you can become the kind of person who makes others believe in goodness again. And if you're still here, still listening, and still trying to keep your heart open in a world that keeps testing it, then I already know something about you. You're not here by accident, bro. You're here because something in you still believes that light matters, that love matters, that peace matters, that God matters, that being a good human still matters, even when the world makes it feel expensive. So before we go any further, you don't have to say anything. Just ask yourself honestly, have you been letting pain harden you? Or have you been letting it shape you into somebody who can carry hope for other people too? Like I said, you don't have to answer out loud, but your life already has. And if you're still choosing goodness, even when you're tired, you could also just drop "I still choose light" in the comments and let that be your quiet yes to the part of you that refuses to go cold. Now, let's talk about what pain does to the heart. Pain can do two things to a person. It can build a wall, or it can build wisdom. A lot of people never get told the difference, so they confuse hardness with healing. They think if they stop feeling, they'll stop hurting. They think if they become colder, nothing can get in. But cold is not the same as safe. Cold is what happens when somebody gets hurt enough and hurt enough times that they start calling distance a personality. Cold is when a person decides it's easier to be unreachable than to risk being let down again. But there's another path, bro. The one where pain doesn't get the final word. The one where what happened to you becomes part of your story, but not the whole definition of who you are. That path is harder, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It asks so much more of you. It asks you to stay open when closing would naturally just be easier. It asks you to keep your tenderness alive in a world that keeps trying to take it from you. And if you're on that path, even a little bit, I want to say this plainly. I see you, bro. I know it's not easy. I know it's not for the weak. It's for the people who keep choosing love, bro. It's hard as shit. Because some humans keep showing up with love in their hands even after life taught them how dangerous that can be. They keep checking on people. They keep forgiving when it would be simpler just to stay bitter. They keep praying. They keep hoping. They keep making soup, sending a text, offering grace, holding space, showing up again. That's not naive, bro. That's the kind of strength most people don't even know how to measure. Because it would be so much easier just to doom scroll and numb out. It would be so much easier to say, fine, if the world wants cold, then I'll be cold. And a lot of people, bro, do exactly that. But there are still humans out there who are trying to keep love alive like it's a flame in the wind. Not perfect love, not polished love, not love that never gets tired, just real love. Love with bruises on it. Love that has learned how to survive. That kind of love matters, man. That kind of love changes rooms. That kind of love keeps families from falling apart completely. That kind of love is often the only reason some people even make it through the week. So if you're one of those people, which I'm pretty sure you are, if you're the one who keeps giving what you were never fully given, please hear me. You're not foolish. You're not weak. And you're not behind. Bro, you're carrying something sacred. A lot of people think you have to be fully healed before you can be good. That's not true. You can be wounded and still be kind. You can be tired and still be gentle. You can be uncertain and still be faithful. You can still be grieving and still be a light. The world loves to make people believe they have to become flawless before they deserve to shine. But some of the brightest people are the ones who have been through the most and still don't let it turn them mean. That doesn't mean that you ignore your pain. It means that you refuse to let pain become your identity. It means that you can say, yes, I've been through some things. Yes, I'm still carrying some of those things. Yes, I have days where it's really heavy. And still say, I'm not giving up on my heart. That is spiritual, bro. That is holy. That is the kind of strength that doesn't need applause. And if you've ever wondered whether your softness is a liability, I want you to answer that clearly. No. Your softness is evidence that life did not finish its job on you. That there is still something in you that wants to stay human. And that fucking matters, bro. So, let me just say it plainly. Maybe today is not the day you fix everything. Maybe today is just the day that you stop talking to yourself like someone you're disappointed in. Maybe today is the day you look at your own life and just simply say, I've been through enough. I don't need to be my enemy also. That's a real spiritual decision. Because some days the prayer is not, make me better. Some days the prayer is, help me keep going. Some day the prayer is, don't let me go numb. Some days the prayer is, teach me how to stay soft without falling apart. And if that's where you are, then this is for you. You're allowed to be tired and still be chosen. You're allowed to be in the process and still be valuable. You're allowed to be healing and still worthy of encouragement right now, not later. So take that in for just a second. Cheers. You don't have to earn your right to keep going. You just have to keep going. If that landed anywhere in your chest, you could also drop, I'm still here in the comments. So you have a little reminder later that this moment happened and you didn't miss it. And to every human out there who is barely getting by, who is fighting for light with a tired body and a tired mind, who is trying to hold on to love, peace, and God with shaking hands, I want you to speak like a friend. I want to speak to you like a friend, not someone who put together a lecture. Keep going, bro. Not because it's easy. Not because you have to prove anything. Not because your presence matters more than you know. The world needs people who have been through it and still choose compassion. It needs people who know what pain is and still make room for hope. It needs people who have been knocked down and still decide to not become cruel. So wherever you are right now, driving, cleaning, working, laying in bed, trying to just make it through one more hour or one more day, I'm proud of you for staying open. I'm proud of you for still caring. I'm proud of you for still reaching for light. So if this message is what you needed today, stick around. Hit the follow button, hit subscribe, share it, repost it, send it to somebody who just needs a little bit more evidence that a good heart still exists. And if you're watching this on Instagram, just know that longer videos don't travel far unless people help them carry them. They don't share videos longer than 3 minutes. So if this spoke to you in any way, like I said, please hit repost. Please pass it on. Let it find another human who needs to remember they're not falling just because they're tired. And that's what Team Human feels like me today. Not a slogan, not a club, not a performance. Just a bunch of people who quietly are refusing to let pain turn them cold. And if that's you, you're already one of us. And if you've made it to this part of the video, welcome to Team Human. Affirm that you're part of Team Human by dropping Team Human in the comments. You truly have no idea how much I love you. See you later. Ooh! Dang, bro. I don't know about y'all, but that opening statement was a fucking banger, dude. That shit was a banger, homie. If you're new to this channel, I'm obsessed with aliens. And so at any time, if you don't want to type words and you just want to affirm to what's being said, feel free to just comment the alien emoji. I'm also, for people who are on YouTube, I'm also on Twitch at the same username, Tripoverdrip. If you wanted to head over to Twitch, we got a pretty live group of people up over on Twitch. Twitch was where I started the stream, bro. So Twitch is where the day ones are at. Since Twitch, I was only streaming on Twitch, bro, for a few months, dude. And then I just gathered the courage to just spread the information out a little bit more. We've added Facebook, Misty Carr, Crystal, Kyle, what's up? Brittany Allen, if you're here, say what's up. If you're here, say what's up. Clarissa, Melissa Clark, Scruffmeister, Britt, let's see. We've got Julia, Nicole, Tanel, Honeybees, Big Tree Chad's up in the house. What's up, motherfuckers? That shit was fire, huh? Dude, I really been trying to just hone in my craft, bro. You know what I'm saying? This is what I would say, bro. I have the sword, bro, which is like my mind and my energy and my drive and my inner divinity, the materialistic technology that I need to spread the message, which is the sword, that message that I have to spread, bro. You know what I'm saying? So now Merlin, yeah, because I'm a wizard, bro. I'm a magician, homie. Wingardium Leviosa. Just kidding. But I have the sword now, bro. Now I just need to sharpen it and just hone in my craft, bro. You know what I mean? Just hone it in. You know what I mean? Chisel it up. Perfect it. Hell yeah. I appreciate you guys. Alfonso, what's up, dude? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Hell yeah, what's up, dude? Is the tree in the house? Tree is in the house. Big Tree Chad's in the house, bro. Let's see here. We got 5 on YouTube. What's good at YouTube? Let's see here. We've got 3 on Facebook. What's up, Facebook? Facebook just telling you now, homie. They're shadow banning me over here, bro. They don't like the things I be saying on this platform. So any like, share, comment on not even just this live, but every single thing that you possibly see from me. If you just hit the like button, share, etc., it just tremendously helps. We know I'm shadow banned up over here. I got over 530,000 followers on Facebook, but I can only ever get an audience of about 15 people as like max over on Facebook, bro. It's weird, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make sense. How if 500,000 people decided, like, they pushed the button that literally says follow, which means like show me more of this person. How come people don't ever get freaking notified, bro? Super dope. Super dope. We need to change that. Yes, we do. Hell yeah, Misty Carr, Crystal, what's up? Oh man, we got some clips to get into today, bro. Dude, Webb dropped the freaking Webb dropped Webb dropped the COVID files, dude. I gotta, you know how yesterday we did like a little thing on Webb before we got to the Learn With Me section where we watch a documentary, which is towards the end. Where we go through Webb and like see what the Epstein files had yesterday about Zora Ranch. Dude, Webb dropped the COVID-19 files that Tulsi Gabbard just freaking dropped. We're going to do that after this segment real quick. But what I like to do is this. So if you're new here, I just will explain it because I can see some new names up in here. You know what I mean? Basically what happens, I let people come up in. We say, hello, how are you? How you doing? And then we start with the opening message. You know what I'm saying? And then we go over to X and we just like... and then we just like look at some things that are on the internet on X, bro, and just try to figure out what's the truth, because the internet's full of truth, but it's also full of propaganda, and MK Ultra never ended. It just got more sophisticated, bro. So looking at things that you might possibly have seen on the internet, or topics that you might have been interested in and want some to have a conversation about, that's one of the reasons I love going live, is because it allows me to like talk about things and learn things and do things and communicate things I'm interested in, things that I think that matters. And I like to have people here with me live while I'm doing it, because my mind can't do all of it. There are so many of you out there right now. Yeah, I'm talking to each one of you that are fucking brilliant, bro. You guys are so brilliant, so smart, so creative, so compassionate, you know what I'm saying? So graceful, so understanding. You know what I'm saying? So like it allows me to like really expand my range of knowledge, having real humans on the stream right now currently while I'm discussing and learning things about things I'm interested in, so that we can bounce ideas off of each other. So if I say something, you're like, oh, that shit sounds crazy. Or you're like, hell yeah. I'm like, okay, maybe that does make a little bit more sense. But here on Tripoverdrip, we be talking about and going down some crazy rabbit holes, bro. Crazy rabbit holes. Can we get some aliens in the chat if you've been here and been down the rabbit holes? It's insane, bro. Because if you've never been here before, especially the documentaries we watch at the end, bro, this shit is insane, bro. I've watched some, like, literally over the last few fucking months, bro. Oh my god, bro. My mind's melted 17 times. Dude, what was it, yesterday, bro? We were watching the documentary at the end, dude. So my last name is Hess. You might be able to see it on screen. The little rotating thing that shows my socials right now actually says Trevor Hess underneath the chat or above the chat. My last name is Hess, and if you don't know anything about Hess, yeah, I freaking crashed out because I found out that one of my ancestors in the earlier late 11th century, what the fuck, 11th century, was a good friend of the very first Rothschild, and actually was the one who helped fund the Rothschilds dynasty. And then there's also, Rudolf Hess, who's also the Nazi, bro. I tripped out, bro. That shit consumed my mind the whole night, dude. It's insane, huh? All right, you guys ready to get into these clips, bro? First and foremost, I'm going to just bring you a little clip from BB Satan Netanyahu. Let's just give him a whirl. Let's hear what this fucking piece of shit has to say. Yeah, you know, the seal of Solomon behind that doesn't mean Jewish. That's actually some like real deep occult magic symbolism. Here we go. Here we go.
The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan.
Okay, so I know this video is kind of probably quiet. Yeah, he basically just said that Jesus Christ has no power over Genghis Khan. Let me find a different clip actually that's a little bit quiet, that's a little bit louder. This is from the Iran army. How crazy is that, huh? I love humans, bro. I don't believe in any of the religions. We've been coming to find out that all of the religions have crazy ancient occult symbolism in all of their architecture and just the way they go about their lives, you know? So, okay, here we go. Bibi, Jesus, Genghis. Can't sleep through the night, can't sleep through the night. See your face in a glass. Okay, so this is it. Let me see here. It's quiet. Let's go media.
Safeguards the future. You know, if people want to be naive, that they don't see the kind of world we're living in. In this world, it's not enough to be moral. It's not enough to be just. It's not enough to be right. You know? One of the greatest writers of the 20th century, someone that I admire a lot, was the historian Will Durant. Now, he wrote many volumes. I read most of them. He also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation.
Okay. Like what in the actual fuck is that? That if you're ruthless enough, you're strong enough, that evil can overcome good. What? Genghis Khan is more powerful than Jesus Christ? That comment alone is like retarded. What the fuck? BB Satan Yahoo, everybody. Friend of the show. Not really, actually. He's a fucking demon. He probably sacrifices children to Baal, allegedly, because he's part of the Khazarian mafia, allegedly. Okay. We're going to, because the Webb, bro, because the Webb just dropped the COVID files, bro. Some of these clips have to do with COVID and Dr. Fauci, and then we're going to look at what the actual files that Tulsi Gabbard just dropped. Regardless of how you feel about Tulsi Gabbard being on the list of going to Peter Thiel's dialogue homo parties, she did put out information. She is dropping bombshells before she leaves. We're going to look it up, and we're going to deep dive about, if you've seen the video I posted just recently about yesterday, you remember how on Webb we did a little thing where we went through all the files that they had regarding Zorro Ranch, talking about the epigenetics and the cloning and all that other shit. Do you guys remember? You remember. Anyways, if you haven't, I did post it on my other socials. It is a video on my YouTube that you can watch. It says what the files say about Zorro Ranch. And so we're going to do basically the same thing, but we're going to do we're going to see what the COVID files say regarding Dr. Fauci. And what's his story? How is he connected to this COVID pandemic? If you guys are here for it, you guys can just put your favorite emoji. What's your go-to emoji? You know what I'm saying? When you're in the mood for emojis, I know it's not the same as mine. I know it's not aliens. I know it's not fucking, it's not third eyes. You know what I'm saying? What's like your go-to emoji? If you're ready for that, drop it in the chat, bro. But we're going to get ready and watch this clip.
The unproven theory that the COVID pandemic came out of a wet market in China, but then that was EcoHealth Alliance chief Dr. Peter Daszak, a friend of Dr. Fauci, admitting that the Wuhan lab in China was genetically creating, quote, killer super coronaviruses. This is gain-of-function research so as to sell vaccines. EcoHealth Alliance did get U.S. taxpayer money to do this dangerous research.
Okay, so before we begin, real fast, you might have heard them say that regarding fucking COVID-19, like gain of function. And maybe there's people out there that can comprehend it quickly, and maybe people are just like confused hearing this. So let's just clarify what gain of function means. Now, obviously, I'm going to ask an AI. The AI could be programmed to lie to me, but I'm going to try my best to have a correct prompt that gives me the correct information. Okay, so please provide me information about the term gain of function research. My understanding of it is that they look and do some sort of experiment or research on viruses so that they can better create vaccines. Is that accurate?
Gain of function research is a broad term for experiments or natural processes that result in an organism acquiring new or enhanced biological traits. In microbiology and molecular biology, scientists often use gain of function and its counterpart, loss of function, to understand how genes work, how microbes behave, and how pathogens interact with their hosts. This type of research can be applied in virology, including studies of pandemic influenza, SARS, and MERS coronaviruses. It doesn't necessarily mean creating pathogens to make vaccines, though the knowledge gained can help in vaccine development by revealing how viruses might evolve or spread.
Interesting. Maybe I was inaccurate. Let's hear what they've got to say. So my understanding of what Perplexity just said is like gain of function or loss of function is basically like actually altering the whatever they're doing it to give it a function or to take away a function, whether that's like the COVID vaccine being a gain of function as they were trying to create a super virus or something, right? That's allegedly what the conspiracy theorists believe. I know you're here. Say what's up, conspiracy theorists. Apple Juice is in the house. What's up, homie? What's up, Apple Juice? Long time no sizzle.
And now former DNI Tulsi Gabbard declassified documents showing the CIA warned Dr. Fauci about a Wuhan lab accident where lab workers did get infected in late 2019. Let's bring in Dr. Peter McCullough. Doctor, what's your take on them talking about this? The documents show a government official under Joe Biden said they saw this video of Daszak talking about inserting spike proteins into viruses to make them super viruses more infectious to bind to human cells. What's your take?
Fauci, when he was talking about the wet lab, he was lying through his teeth. He knew all the while that SARS-CoV-2 was created in the Wuhan Institute of Virology, and his influence was enormous through the intelligence community, the academic community.
Okay, his influence is that haven't we been raised? The programming does say, right? It does say, trust the news. So, homie on the news said that Dr. Fauci had a immense amount of influence on this situation. And we're going to get into this. Just stay with me if you're here, bro. Stay with me. We're going to get into these files that they were talking about because they were just uploaded on Webb. Shout out Kevin is a human. Ian Carroll, you already know. Webb is goated, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Webb literally changed the game for people trying to do research, bro. Okay, so check this out. You know who Okay, personally, if I'm going to be 100% honest with you, I don't really like Jasmine Crockett from the House Oversight, but she said that survivors testified the trafficking ring reached high levels of government across the world, not only England. So how come there haven't been anyone that's arrested from any other country? Or at least if there is, we're not being told about it. At least maybe I'm in an algorithmic cage. But let's just hear what she has to say. It's only 30 seconds, and then I don't want to listen to any more of what she has to say.
We'll be clear about this. When we had our large roundtable where we talked to so many survivors, they did say that this has impacted high levels of government across the world, not just in England. They talked about multiple other countries. And so for us, we want to follow this because for all I know, we know that Epstein is gone, but does it mean that the ring is gone? Because of the sophistication in the way that this was set up, we need to make sure that we're not only fortifying our democracy here, but we need to make sure that there's not some cabal that is operating currently and still engaging in this type of behavior.
Well, you might resonate and feel like I do. It does seem to me that, meanwhile, Jared Kushner is trying to buy an island. But it does seem like to me that there is some sort of cabal. The more research I do, not even into current events are just affirmations of the stuff that I'm learning about our history that's been hidden from us. We've been deep diving into some documentaries about the Khazarian mafia. Is that a keyword? Have you heard that before? Yeah, so we'll be doing that at the end of the stream. I think we got about 45 minutes left, and that's only part 2 of 5, bro. It's gonna get deep, homie. Hope to see you still here, still there. Woo, shit, boy. Oh yeah, here's a flashback when Rand Paul had Dr. Fauci literally shaking. We're gonna show you on Webb, like I've said. Why he is gonna be shaking, bro? Why is he shaking?
What we're alleging is that gain-of-function research was going on in that lab and NIH funded it. That is not... Get away from it. It meets your definition and you are obfuscating the truth. I'm not obfuscating the truth. You are the one. I'm not obfuscating the truth. You are the one. I'm not obfuscating the truth. You are the one.
Ooh, shaking in his boots. There's a snake in my boot. Oh yeah. Tucker Carlson. Yeah. I don't really, to be 100% honest, bro, you might disagree, bro. You might disagree. Tucker Carlson might be the only motherfucker, bro, that could run for president, bro, and I don't think that he would fucking cave. Or maybe he's just a psyop too. I don't know what you believe. Do you think he's an op because his dad was in the CIA, or do you think Tucker Carlson's based, bro? Which one? There's lots of, are you the type of person that thinks Mr. Beast is a good person because he does philanthropy work and pays for thousands of people to get life-changing surgeries that can't afford it in third world countries, and healing dogs and putting wells in Africa? He seems like he's the only fucking... He seems like Mr. Beast is like the only YouTuber that's actually doing real philanthropy work, but Bill Gates does philanthropy work too, and allegedly he's involved in all of this COVID-19 pandemic cover-up scandal, murder millions of people, and then give them medicine to tell them it will fix it, allegedly, you know? You gotta have discernment, homie. You know what I mean? Like, if you really, like, the full essence of the word discernment, bro. Maybe just take a quick second and realize maybe all the chemicals and the weird shit that they put inside of our food, bro, inside of our air, inside of our water, it's all to make it so that our gut feeling, or we lose contact with our soul, spirit, higher self, God, whatever you want to call it. The label doesn't matter. It all means the same thing. It's a something bigger and bigger than yourself that connects you to everything and gives you a purpose and a path. You know what I'm saying? It's what's connected to all the higher vibrations, or the more positive feelings that we've experienced as humans. You've got to have discernment, bro. Do I believe everything Tucker Carlson says or the things that people say on his channel? No, but I don't know, man. I really just feel like he's been saying some pretty compelling things lately and covering some stories and having guests on that is getting him a lot of hatred, especially when he said that he's leaving the Republican Party and he's not a Democrat either. It just, it just seems like maybe we're being primed for something. I don't know.
It does, and it's frustrating too, because you see the very people whose alleged ancestors crucified Jesus almost using him as a mascot for genocide, where they don't believe in Jesus, but they will look at you as a Christian and they'll say, your Messiah is Jewish. I'm like, well, yeah, and your ancestors killed him. Like, I don't owe you anything. Yeah, it does. And it's...
Oh, yeah, I just wanted to play that real quick. Yeah, they do always throw back that Jesus was a Jew, but the other Jews killed him. Just a reminder. All right, here's this next one. A new study found that 2.3% of babies born to COVID-vaccinated mothers developed holes in their heart. Atrioventricle septal defects. None of the babies born to unvaccinated mothers developed this life-threatening heart defect. Let's just hear what homie has to say.
A new study just came out and found that COVID-19 vaccination during early pregnancy was linked to major birth defects, including literal holes in the heart of the baby and cleft palates. So this is absolutely terrible. So basically what they did was they compared vaccinated pregnant women who were vaccinated in the first trimester to unvaccinated pregnant women. They found the vaccinated pregnant women had 2.3% of all of them, the children had atrioventricular septal defects, which is literally these holes in the atrial septum and ventricular septum, and they need emergency surgery.
Bro, how crazy is that, dude? They did a study and it showed that vaccinated moms, their babies had life-altering birth defects. That's sad, bro. Oh yeah, did you guys hear this from Candace, bro? Did you guys see this? Did you guys see this on the internet, bro? This is insane, bro. Let's let Candace talk. This is our last clip. Then we're going to be getting into Webb to talk about Dr. Fauci, and then we're going to finish the Khazarian Mafia documentary. Thank y'all for being here. If you could just help the algorithm on all channels. If you're on YouTube, you could just will you please make sure that if you're here, you just actually hit the like button on the live stream, not just the like button in the live chat. Twitch always is lighting it up. If you're on Facebook, you also have a little heart button. Thank you for doing that. Let's just hear what Candace has to say.
One of the other bizarre things that took place is that the people who immediately testified after Charlie got hit said that they saw Charlie get shot in the chest. It was one of the things that we actually covered almost immediately after the shooting on this.
Okay, so for anybody who has been covering or paying attention to the Charlie Kirk assassination, the blood came out of his neck, right? It does seem quite confusing, bro. I do have a vertical stream up over on Facebook, bro. There is a vertical stream. But it does seem as if the evidence that's been given to us that he got shot in the neck, correct? So how come Candace Owens is about to show us clips that were aired right after the assassination over and over and over again that say differently?
Was that many of the people who spoke to the news were all bizarrely somehow politically connected. So we started profiling these people, and we found out this person, Tiffany Barker, I think was one of the names. Actually, she was working on Phil Lyman's campaign. Phil Lyman was out there testifying. Everything just felt weird and organized, and so we covered it. And we forgot that many people were saying that Charlie got hit in the chest. It was almost like they didn't look. It was very obvious where he got hit, anybody who looked at him. So why did they suddenly run to cameras and say that they saw Charlie get hit in the chest? Right? Never an answer for that. I want you guys to take a listen to these people who tried to convincingly sell that he got hit in the chest.
I heard a loud bang, which I figured a shot would be a little bit louder, but I just saw it hit him in the chest, and then all of a sudden just tons of blood gushing right out where his heart is, and then he like fell over and slumped down, and everybody got down and was screaming, and then we all ran.
Wait a second, bro. That's on Fox News, bro. She just said that she saw him get shot in the chest and blood come from his chest, but anybody who fucking watched the clip and was traumatized by the public execution of Charlie Kirk for the whole planet, I mean, it did look like he got hit somewhere in the chest, but there was only blood that came from his neck. She could be AI, Britt. I don't know. Do you think she was AI? Seems weird, bro. Bro, I'm just going to say, I live in Utah, bro. I literally live 10 minutes away from the University of Utah, bro. I remember one time when I was 18 and I was getting ready, or 17, I was going into independent living after getting in trouble and getting out of trouble, foster cares type shit. I lived in a freaking student housing, bro. So I actually didn't stay. I left as soon as my mom dropped me off, but I ran away, but the UVU, like, this is close to home to me, bro. This is like right at where I live, bro. Like 10 minutes away from right where I live. It's insane, bro.
Where his heart is, it started going red. He fell back, and it was a direct shot to the heart. It looked like right where his heart is, it started going red. He fell back and went to his side. And then I looked down at the crowd, and it looked like the crowd all went to their knees really fast.
When I heard the first gunshot go off, all of a sudden I just saw an eruption of blood, come out of Charlie's chest, and then kind of his whole body recoil and go limp, and basically everybody just screamed and fell to the floor.
I don't know. I just wanted to show that clip because to me, it looked, now that she like put all the clips up back to back to back to back to back to back, you know what I'm saying? It just seems weird why that was all over the news when every single one of us, like I just said, if we've been paying attention to any of this, we like know exactly what happened. He was supposedly shot in the neck by a 30-06 by Tyler Robinson, the lone gunman, right? Of course. We're supposed to trust the government at all times. They would never lie to us. Okay, so here's the Dr. Fauci Webb deep dive, bro. We got a banger for one, bro. Before we go, I gotta go. Oh yeah, this is the video from us doing the breathing exercise after yesterday's stream because that shit was heavy, bro. So yeah, just know I guess that's just a little tidbit to let you know that at the end of the stream, if the stream's super heavy, I try my best to we'll do like a meditation or like a chakra aligning breath work or energy cleansing guided meditation thing, just because I don't want to load a bunch of heavy shit onto your consciousness, into your soul and your energetic presence. So if we do have a super heavy one and you feel like it was super heavy, feel free. You don't have to, don't be shy. If we're getting to stuff and you are feeling like if you need to stick around that we're going to need to do breath work, I'm okay with doing that. I love doing breath work. It actually helps me do breath work. So I just appreciate you for being here, bro. Zach Faust, I showed you at the beginning of the stream, bro. We're about to get him on stream, so I'm just gonna let him play while I run upstairs before we deep dive into this Webb and Dr. Fauci. I gotta use the bathroom, get some more coffee. Honeybees, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna play some Zach Faust real fast while I run upstairs, use the bathroom, get coffee, etc. You know what I'm saying?
Amen and hallelujah. We pray that the Epstein list makes its way into the public light. The economy. How would you define the Epstein? Got an old producer. We gotta let it right out. What a bop. Amen and hallelujah. We pray the Epstein list makes its way into the public light, but today we are going to be talking about the economy. What is the economy, by the way? If you were to define the economy, how would you define the economy? I'll tell you how our government normally defines the economy. I'll give you my definition for the economy. But again, in the comments, if you're watching this live, as we do this live Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, thanks for joining us. How would you define the economy? The government typically, when asked around the strength of the economy, how the economy is doing, the outlook of it, a lot of times it's defined as the GDP, so gross domestic product. It's a mixture of 5 different items, has to do with imports, exports. You can look up the formula. We're not going through that today. The GDP, which essentially, like, you can view that as just like our value as a country that we've created for either ourselves or internationally. The stock market usually focused in or around the S&P 500. The stock market, the Dow Jones, as we famously heard Pam Bondi in response to a "why haven't we received Epstein transparency" was, the Dow Jones is over 50,000. What are we talking about? So the economy is referenced a lot, and the stock market is often utilized as the proxy there. And then we also get this word inflation. Inflation is utilized as an economic jeer, many times utilized by this administration on the past. Maybe rightfully so. Inflation was terrible during the post-COVID 2021 to 2024 regime, and is the bane of most of our existence. But do you know what cumulative inflation is since 2010? Do you know what cumulative inflation is since 2010? What is cumulative inflation? Okay. The third and probably at this moment most talked about variation of how our government describes the economy is inflation. Inflation, the stock market, and the GDP. Now, cumulative inflation is important. It's how much prices have increased over a large basket of goods and services that are tracked by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. How much have those prices increased? How much, if we just gathered them all together, weighted them upright, how much have prices gone up? Just think about it for a second. Since 2010, that is 16 years ago. 16 years ago, that's sick. That's sick. 16 years ago is...
Bro. Shout out Zach Loft, bro. Shout out Zach Loft. I'm actually, dude, I just showed you guys, bro. This guy I just showed you, bro. It's the freaking email I just showed, bro. Zach Loft says, "Yeah, bro, I'd love to come get on your stream, bro." Here in the next few days, actually, my mom really wants to get on stream and just tell her story, bro. She's a sexual abuse survivor that has to deal with like the Mormon church and stuff. And she really is, she really wants to get on the internet and just let people hear it for inspiration, get the story out. So I'm just letting you know what's up. So I'm trying to figure out, you know, I mean, I like to do these live streams, but the goal and the mission that became solidified from the beginning is that I want to regularly also do like podcast type style, if that makes sense. You know, I do want to interview people. I want to actually talk to humans. And so I'm trying, you know, like I said, I'll give you a little secret if you've haven't been here for a very long time. But on my vision board in my bedroom, my wife and I created vision boards together, and she helped me AI generate a picture that's in the middle of it that is me sitting across from Joe Rogan. Not necessarily that's like the end goal, but that's like that's like where I want to be able to speak with people. I want to talk to people as well. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure this week, my homies from Outside Minds, let me just give them a little shout out too, actually. I actually joined a live stream that's being turned into a podcast. I didn't know it was live, or I would have let everybody know. I'm telling you, bro. I would have known that it was live. If I would have known, I would have told all y'all, bro. They hit 1,000 subs on my live stream, bro. It's gonna be like tomorrow or something. But let me let me just share the link so you can follow them. They're the homies. This is the third time that I've been on their podcast, actually, bro. Shout out Outside Minds, bro. I'm gonna drop it in the chat for everybody to go give them a follow. My pod should be dropping in the next, I think it's tomorrow. They drop, you know what I'm saying? I'm dropping the link for everybody in the channel, bro. Come on, man. I'm letting you know, bro. I'm just like built different, bro. I got no problem saying, go follow Zach Faust. Hey, go follow this other creator, bro. It's about community, bro. That's why I'm really I love live streaming, bros, because I feel the most sense of community, like the biggest community emotionally I feel is when I'm on stream with y'all, bro. When I'm on stream with y'all. All right. Yeah, we just like love, light, laughter, conversation, esoteric, mystic, occult symbolism. Just kidding. But for real though. Just promise me this, bro. If you're on YouTube and you see my freaking new video drop, bro, on Outside Minds, like I said, I think it should be tomorrow, bro. Just freaking let them know. Say, oh my gosh, bro, Trip, what's up, Trip, Team Human, or whatever. You know what I mean? Let's try and make it their biggest video, bro. You know what I mean? All right, you guys ready for this deep dive into freaking this deep dive into Dr. Fauci for at least what the files that Tulsi Gabbard just dropped about the biolabs and stuff connected to COVID? Cheers, mate. Well, you know, Tonell, I hope that's how you say your name. If there weren't bees, the planet wouldn't be the planet wouldn't be survivable, bro. We need the bees. Save the bees. Okay, you guys ready for this? Here we fucking go. Let me hit this little blinker real fast. You want to know something super crazy? Can I show you? Woo, that shit caught me by the boo-boo. Okay, so speaking of bees, I live in Utah, bro. So the bees, it's like the Utah's like the beehive state, bro. So I actually got like a little bee right up here on top of these cards. There's like a bee right here. I don't know if you can see it. A little beehive. Got the honeycombs and shit. Just wanted to flex and show you guys we're all bees, bro. It's all bees. We're one. It's one collective mind, bro. We're one collective. It's a collective consciousness, homie. All right, you guys ready for this? All right, so everybody knows who Dr. Fauci is and what COVID-19 and the pandemic and the vaccine did. Either way, whether you believe the official narrative of what happened or what the conspiracy says happened. Today in Webb, actually, they just dropped the COVID-19 files, at least the stuff that Tulsi Gabbard just publicly published. So we're going to actually I asked Webb, hey, can we just take a little deep dive and just give me some information about Dr. Fauci and how he's connected to the files that were just dropped? And you're not going to believe what I just found. Okay, so Dr. Fauci, bro. He was an American doctor. Every evening for months, Anthony Fauci stood at the podium and told us what to do. 6 feet apart, wash your hands, trust the science. And a lot of us did. We put his face on mugs and t-shirts and made him a household god like Saint Fauci. Everyone just worshiped the things he said and just followed unwillingly, just with blind faith that a doctor or a government official would never lie to us. He's the one who would tell us when it was safe to even hug our parents again. But there was another Dr. Fauci behind that podium, behind those hearings, in a secure facility where visitor logs go missing. This is where the story that the declassified files will tell. Let's see here. It begins with money, like American money, taxpayer money, approximately 600,000 of it rooted through a New York-based nonprofit called EcoHealth Alliance at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, a Chinese lab that handled some of the most dangerous coronaviruses on the earth. A Chinese lab that handled some of the most dangerous coronaviruses on Earth. The research was managed by Peter Daszak, the president of EcoHealth, who in 2018 wrote a proposal describing the work to sequence the spike protein, reverse engineer them, to conduct binding assays and insert them into the SARS-CoV backbones to infect humanized mice and access capacity to cause SARS-like disease. Wow, that seems pretty intentional to me, bro. I don't know about y'all, bro. The proposal was first sent to DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. DARPA rejected it as potentially dangerous virus work. Well, I mean, that's a good thing. But Daszak took the same proposal to a different agency, the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, headed by Dr. Anthony Fauci, and Dr. Anthony Fauci approved the grant. So DARPA said no, but Fauci, he said yeah. Damn, bro. The proposal named a Chinese virologist named Shai Zhenghai to lead the work on creating a vaccine to be sprayed on bats. Okay, so maybe there's a link. That's where the bat origin came from. She has denied the lab had any role in the origins of COVID-19. But she is known in scientific circles as the Batwoman of Wuhan. That's kind of insane, bro. What the shit? Now, here's where we talk about the paper that wasn't supposed to exist. In 2017, 2 years before the pandemic, scientists at Wuhan Institute of Virology published a paper describing experiments that combined coronavirus spike proteins to make them better at affecting human cells. Rutgers microbiologist Richard Ebright called his work unequivocally gain-of-function research. Dr. Fauci would later tell Congress that the NIH that the NIH has not never or does not now fund gain-of-research function at the Institute of Virology in Wuhan. Dang. Sure looks like you lied, buddy. You could also, if you're here watching this now live on YouTube or Twitch or seeing this later, you could just affirm everything I could always just knew from the beginning and more that this was a psyop and it was man-made and it was an orchestrated thing, and you could just kindly just comment, fuck Dr. Fauci. But the definition he was using was a 2014 federal one, a definition so narrow that multiple scientists noted it allowed de facto gain-of-function research to bypass safety protocols. The question wasn't whether the research was dangerous, it was whether the word gain-of-function fit inside of the box. Okay, now we're going to talk about The Marine who blew the whistle. And yet again, here we are. We just fucking hate and love those redacted black boxes. But in August 2021, a U.S. Marine Corps major named Joseph P. Murphy, working inside DARPA's Biological Technologies Office, sent a memo to the Pentagon Inspector General. His conclusion was stark. SARS-CoV-2 was an American-created recombinant bat vaccine, or its precursor virus, he wrote. It was created by an EcoHealth Alliance program at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Dang, see, that's kind of crazy, right? They lied to us straight to our face, and now we have proof. In 2000, a major, bro. It's not no punk, bro. It's not no fucking little boy in the fucking army, bro. It's a major, bro. From the Marine Corps. He was working inside of DARPA's office, dude. That's insane, bro. Let's keep going. Murphy explained that the virus was likely a live vaccine that escaped from the Chinese lab before it could be engineered into a less dangerous state. The virus had been designed, he said, to be aerosolized so it could effectively infect bats in caves. He dated the initial escape to August 2019, 4 months before the world knew anything was wrong. That's fucked up, bro. He also revealed that Pentagon officials had placed the unclassified EcoHealth Alliance proposals inside a top secret file within DARPA. The concealment that was itself part of a whistleblower complaint. A group called Drastic, the decentralized radical search team investigating COVID-19, had independently researched the same conclusion about the lab leak. This collection of scientists and sleuths broke open the lab leak hypothesis into the mainstream, Murphy wrote. The missing soldier joints. What does that mean? On a Friday night in early 2020, a group of scientists called Fauci Directly, they had been examining the genome of the novel coronavirus. And they had noticed something deeply strange. The virus contained what they called improbable mutations, specifically what's known as the furin cleavage site, a molecular feature that makes a virus better at infecting human cells. The scientists described it as a 10-step process where we have sequences from step 1 to 6 and from step 10, but the missing steps 7 to 9, the virus seemed to have a feature that looked designed, a molecular architecture that nature would not easily produce. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the fuck happened to you? What's up, you guys? You guys still here with me? Who's still here with me, bro? I'm pretty sure I'm just saying, bro. Pretty sure this is it's just obvious, right? I don't know. What do you believe? What do you believe, bro? Seems like it's pretty obvious, bro, that the government knew exactly what the fuck this was. Two experts on a subsequent call said the sequences were natural. The rest said they were unsure. On the same call, it was noted that WIV had been working on gain of function of HACE2 receptor binding. That is the specific lock and key mechanism that virus uses to break into human cells. What the shit? I didn't know any of this shit. I'm just being honest with you. Like, I didn't know what gain of function like fully meant. Obviously, if you were here and listened to me ask Perplexity, I thought it had to do something where they like do research to make better vaccines, which would just affirm what I thought about the COVID vaccine and the virus. But I learned that it's not. It's like gain of function means it gives the cells or the virus or the bacteria or whatever the gain of function research is on an additional function. And it looks to me from what the files I've been reading with you live right now, as well as recording this for people seeing this later, gain of function for this specific virus was that it would be able to break through human cells so it could bind to our cells easier, making it so that the virus allegedly seems to that it would spread faster. I can't tell you what to believe, bro. I can't tell you what to believe. You could let me know what you think if you wanted to up in the chat. You know what I'm saying? It just helps the algorithm every time you comment something. Hit the like button on the live stream or seeing this later, whether it's on X, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. Okay, here we go. The Lancet letter and the orchestration. In February of 2020, as the world was just grasping the scale of what was happening, a letter appeared in the medical journal, The Lancet. Signed by 27 prominent scientists, it condemned conspiracy theories suggesting that COVID-19 does not have a natural origin. You know what I mean? And then they were just like, hey, motherfuckers, we better freaking trust the experts. Trust the scientists. The letter was organized by Peter Daszak, the exact same man whose organization was the conduit for NIH funds to the Wuhan lab. Got him. Fauci, the documents show, quietly worked behind the scenes to cast doubt on the Wuhan lab leak hypothesis in 2020 and was in direct communication with Daszak during this period. In one email sent to Fauci in April of 2020, an EcoHealth executive thanked him publicly for stating that scientific evidence supports a natural origin of the coronavirus. Fauci later told CNN that email was being misconstrued. Dang, bro. I think it was being misconstrued, if I'm being just 100% honest with you, bro. We already should know that. If you're still here, you're probably just like me and just think the same stuff that I did, that it was a psyop simultaneously, population control, allegedly, conspiratorially, or maybe it's real. I don't know. I'll just preface everything that you see on this stream, every stream prior, and every stream further. I'm a kook. I wear a tinfoil hat, bro. I got a tinfoil castle, bro. I believe in Bigfoot. So you can't take anything I say as 100% fact. You got to do your own research, and that's why I try to do it like live right here. Right here, I'm literally pulling all this information from the files that Tulsi Gabbard just leaked about the biolabs, bro. I know you've heard about it, potentially seen the video of her even talking about it that kind of looks AI, but this is just from them, bro. So you can make up your own decisions. I'm just providing information about the files that were dropped. Thanks to Webb, it makes it a lot easier than having to go to some link or some government website repeatedly over and over, clicking links, clicking that link. I can just ask a question and it pulls it up for me. Theweb.io. You should download it if you like to do research like this. The letter was used as a cudgel. Anyone who raised the lab leak theory, any scientist, any journalist, any politician, was accused of spreading conspiracy theorists. You saw that as well, bro, all over the news. Don't listen to the conspiracy theorists. They were like every day talking about the anti-vaxxers, bro. Daszak himself had been recorded in 2016 describing his Chinese colleagues manipulating coronavirus spike proteins to make them more virulent, but the Lancet letter was cited as the final word of settled science, and it was echoed at the highest levels of the U.S. government. Seems like a psyop, bro. A money grab, bro. Money grab. Get everyone sick and then fund and pay for the medicine that didn't actually cure anybody. And then there was a CIA briefing. In early 2020, Anthony Fauci began visiting the CIA. According to a memo circulating within the agency in December 2023, Fauci was not recorded on the visitor logs, as if he'd slipped through a side door. Senator Rand Paul, in his interview document, stated that 7 CIA scientists voted 6-1 to say it came from a lab, and then they reversed by their to say that it came from a lab, and then they were reversed by superiors. The obvious question, though, captured in internal intelligence emails, was, did Dr. Fauci influence the superiors, bro? On June 4th, 2021, Fauci briefed CIA analysis via secure video teleconferences on the COVID origin analysis. During that briefing, he steered the conversation. He recommended the intelligence community contact specific scientists, all of whom have advocated for features of the virus as they judge to be consistent with the natural origin. Of course, just redactions, bro. He pointed them to a Toulon paper he described as clear indication of natural origins and discouraged drawing firm conclusions about a lab link. Crazy. It just seems a lot more coordinated than we might have seen, than it might have seemed, right? Seems like it was pretty a coordinated event. You know what? And to be 100% honest with you, can we just hold Dr. Fauci accountable, bro? You know, there was so many people that were implicated, but can we just get, if there's connections to the vaccine and Bill Gates, and there is obvious connections that Dr. Fauci helped coordinate at least part of this, Jeffrey Epstein is to sex trafficking as what COVID is to Dr. Fauci, right? At least that's what I believe. Maybe you believe the same thing. An NCS official facilitated the briefing. The National Security Council was there, setting the stage. After the briefing, CIA officers noted interest in a second following-on briefing for Fauci in person. On March 2026, an internal ODNI email chain captured a raw, uncensored reaction from inside the intelligence community, forwarding a 2020 NIH blog post by Francis Collins that argued for natural origins. One official wrote, "The IC took direction straight from NIH, the people that funded the Wuhan lab, a complex web of money and politics influencing analysis." That was an intelligence professional writing internally, connecting the dots in real time. Senator Rand Paul, in a Fox News interview contained in the files, offered a chilling hypothesis about the vaccine. "I think they developed a coronavirus," Paul said. "They inserted this cleavage site in to make it more infectious to humans. And then they had a vaccine early on, like very early on, because I think that they were developing a vaccine against COVID, and then COVID got out." Crazy. That's a senator saying that stuff, bro. Senator Rand Paul. You didn't hear it from me, but you did hear it from me, but then you heard it from me, and then you heard it from a senator. So a senator works for the government, so he said it must be true. That's what they want us to believe, that government is we have to just believe and trust the government, bro. And the scientist who developed it, Paul added, a man named Dr. Zhou Yusin, died mysteriously 2 months after the development of the virus. He fell from a tall building in Beijing. Sheesh, seems like they always just die mysteriously, bro. Doesn't it seem like that to you, bro? The timelines here are worth sitting with. Operation Warp Speed delivered a vaccine in less than a year. Something, and that's something that has never been done before. Something that was hailed as a miracle of modern science. But if the documents are to be believed, the research that produced the vaccine was built on years of gain-of-function work at the very lab where the virus must and may have escaped from. The NIH funding research at WIV to study bat coronavirus and the mRNA technology used in the vaccines relied on understanding the spike protein, the same spike protein that Daszak's proposal said they would reverse engineer and modify. That's crazy, bro. The vaccine was the escape, or the escape was in service of the vaccine. Either way, the two are impossible to separate. Do you agree, bro? I remember back then, bro, seeing lots of people that were like on the news and that were on social media and everyone talking about it, getting canceled and shit. I only saw the tail end. I was in prison for the actual lockdowns. But I remember getting out and it still being applicable, bro. And it just seemed crazy. Like it seemed like anyone who had any sort of, who was showing any dissent of the official narrative, it's just like we've seen repeatedly since then, actually, is that the news is just like almost like as if they put a memo out and all of a sudden it's just like every single freaking newscaster or news anchor on the news on every channel in every single major city is just like literally regurgitating the same phrases and shit. You know, or do you know? I don't know. Now, through all of this, bro, the mandates came down. The CDC under Rochelle Walensky said, if you are vaccinated, you are protected and you can enjoy your Memorial Day. If you are not vaccinated, our guidance has not changed for you. You remain at risk of infection and you still need to mask and make other precautions. Dang, bro. Who remembers this, bro? I just want to say shout out. I hope all of the children who spent a portion of some really crucial years of their life where development is really crucial, and they just walked around the planet and every human that they saw had a mask on their face, and so they were neglected. They weren't allowed to see human emotion. Do you understand what that could potentially do to a toddler or like a kindergartner's mind, not being able to see people smile or laugh or get upset? How do you think that they understand their own emotions? This shit really, not only did it kill tons of people on both ends with the virus and the vaccine, but it changed so much for so many people that we might not even have seen or get to see until the future, the repercussions of what that did to kids, bro. And those who questioned the virus, who simply asked where it came from, were censored. Facebook had a policy of taking down posts claiming that COVID-19 was man-made. In May 2021, the company reversed that policy, stating, in light of ongoing investigations into the origins of COVID-19 and in consultation with public health experts, we will no longer remove the claim that COVID-19 is man-made from our apps. Dang. The reversal came only after the Wall Street Journal reported that 3 scientists at the Wuhan Institute of Virology had been hospitalized in the fall of 19 with symptoms consistent with COVID-19 weeks before the world knew that the virus had ever even existed. The censorship regime didn't fall because the truth won. It fell because the evidence became too loud to ignore. Amen, brother. Can I get an amen, brother? The whistleblower who filed the complaint about Fauci's false testimony to Congress, the one alleging intelligence reporting contradicting Dr. Fauci's testimony that no gain-of-function research occurred at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, went through the acting inspector general of the intelligence community. The acting IG reviewed it and decided it did not constitute an urgent concern. The complaint was transmitted to Congress anyways, but it was effectively neutered. It sat in a drawer while Fauci continued to testify, continued to deny, and continued to stand behind that podium. In October 21, an email circulated inside the intelligence community with the subject line that said, "Everything. NIH now says WIV did gain a function." The response from a senior official, "Yes, and this and the lobsters. The meeting today will be key to figuring out a way forward." Right there. This and the lobsters. What the fuck does that mean? If you know what that means or what he's talking about, and you could drop it in the comments. I don't know what that means. But he did say figuring out a way forward, not investigating the truth, not holding people accountable, figuring out a way to manage the fallout. On February 3rd, 2020, just days after the World Health Organization declared a global health emergency, Fauci presented to an expert meeting on the origins of the novel coronavirus. The meeting was titled Rapid Response for Assessment of Data Needs for 2019 nCovid, or COV. The agenda lists Fauci as the NIH NIAID perspective, speaking from 2:15 to 2:25 p.m. The meeting objective was to assess what data is needed to understand the evolutionary origins of COVID-19 and more effectively respond to the outbreak and the resulting misinformation. Seems kind of crazy, bro, if you really think about it, dude. Like, how is it that, how come there was, they just were so good at the propaganda back then, bro? Do you think that was one? Are you like me, bro? I genuinely believe 9/11 woke up some boomers. You know what I mean? It wasn't big enough to wake up everybody. And more and more people have woken up since then and then come to the realization of what 9/11 was. But I really feel like COVID drastically forced everyone who was even open-minded to hear different perspectives from people that they don't necessarily agree with, and then gather their own information and move forward with the information that's available to them, and then come to their own conclusion by doing enough research, as well as on research, not just like research of reading words. It's like literally research of hearing other people talk about it from the same perspective of you, and as well as the opposite perspective of you. You have to give it to the other side, bro. We have to, as humans, be able to have these conversations about really serious stuff where the propaganda, the matrix, the programming, whatever you want to call it, really affected and really did brainwash a whole bunch of people, bro. There's a lot of us waking up, and the only way that we can wake up the masses is to have conversations about it. Dead ass. Can you concur? You can just say, "I concur, you kind gentleman." This thing is, though, where they talked about misinformation, is that they've been worried about misinformation the whole time, meaning like the lab leak theory. Because on February 3rd, 2020, before most Americans had ever even heard of the virus, there was that meeting. Now, what about the 2012 letter? In 2012, 8 years before the pandemic, Fauci wrote a letter to the microbiology journal MBio advocating for gain-of-function experiments. In it, he laid out a hypothetical scenario. Consider this hypothetical scenario an important gain-of-function experiment involving a virus with serious pandemic potential is performed in a well-regulated, world-class laboratory by experienced investigators, but the information from the experiment is then used by another scientist who does not have the same training and the facilities and is not subject to the same regulations. In an unlikely and conceivable turn of events, what if that scientist becomes infected with the virus, which leads to an outbreak and ultimately triggers a pandemic? What the shit? Isn't that exactly what happened? I'm pretty sure earlier in this little clip right here, we just read some stuff about how that's when Facebook changed their policies, was when some people in China got infected with symptoms similar to COVID-19 way before the world even knew what COVID-19 was. It also says that the Children's Health Defense in an October 2020 letter to Congress pointed out the eerie accuracy of Fauci's hypothetical. These are not our words, they wrote, but rather they are the words of Anthony Fauci, director of NIAID, in a 2012 letter to the microbiology journal of MBio, according for gain-of-function experiments. Today, questions about the origins of COVID-19 have largely been dismissed without answers. We believe Dr. Fauci laid out a scenario 8 years ago that deserves a full investigation today, particularly when you consider that the Wuhan Institute of Virology was doing the very type of research set forth in Dr. Fauci's hypothetical scenario. All right, so the final report. On December 12th, 2023, a 520-page final report from the White House Select Subcommittee concluded that COVID-19 was likely emerged from a laboratory in Wuhan, China. The report criticized the WHO's response, the U.S. government's handling of relief funds, mask mandates, and vaccine development. It also identified widespread corruption, misinformation, and obstruction of its investigation by the government officials, researchers, and organizations, including Dr. Fauci's EcoHealth Alliance and the Biden administration. The committee listed 5 conclusions. Are you ready for the conclusions? The committee concluded that the virus possesses a biological characteristic that's not found in nature. All COVID-19 cases stem from a single introduction into humans, unlike previous pandemics with multiple spillover events. Wuhan is home to China's foremost SARS research lab, with a history of gain-of-function research at inadequate biosafety levels. The WIV researchers were sick with COVID-like virus in the fall of 2019, months before the wet market outbreak. By nearly all measures of science, if there were evidence of a natural origin, it would have already surfaced. So what does all of this mean, bro? Let's just say this is a story, and let me tell you what this story is, because it's not a real simple one, bro. It is not a story of a Chinese bioweapon. There is no evidence in the files that China intentionally weaponized the virus to harm the West. It is not a story of a deliberate cover-up in the sense of men in the room deciding to lie. It is way more insidious than that, bro. It is a story of a system that was engineered to produce a specific outcome. Fauci controlled the funding. He approved the grant that DARPA had rejected. Fauci controlled the definition. He chose the narrowest possible reading of gain of function so that the research could not proceed without oversight. Fauci controlled the narrative, like I said. He commissioned and edited a paper saying the virus was natural, while the scientists who wrote it told him in private they believed that it came from a lab. Fauci controlled the intelligence community. He briefed the CIA without appearing on visitor logs, and then he recommended scientists who shared his preferred conclusion. And when it was all over, when the when the masks came off and the mandates lifted, over 1 million Americans were dead. Fauci continued to deny it. He denied it before Congress. He denied it in the press. He denied it at the NIH. He denied that the NIH ever funded gain-of-function research in Wuhan. Even as the internal ODNI official was writing, the IC took straight direction from the NIH, the people that funded the Wuhan lab. The NIH now says WIV did gain-of-function research. The intelligence community knows. The congressional report says it. The whistleblower said it. The Marine Corps major said it. The drastic team said it. The scientists who called Fauci on the February night in February 2020 on Friday, the ones who saw the improbable mutations, the missing steps 7 through 9, every single one of them knew it, bro. The question that remains is not what happened, obviously. The question is, who will be held accountable for the trust that was sold, the questions that were suppressed, the lives that were lost while the evidence was hidden in plain sight? And until today or yesterday, when Tulsi Gabbard and Webb dropped this information, June 18th, 2026, it all remained unanswered. Hopefully I was able to assist you in some information that maybe you didn't know. Make sure you hit the follow or like or subscribe button, bro. I just want to say I appreciate y'all for being here. What's up? Team Humans in the house. Arrest Dr. Fauci. Damn, bro. That shit's insane, Hemi. To really think about it, bro, it's kind of crazy, right? Obviously, I was reading straight from what Webb gave me. It seems pretty obvious that the people that Fauci was working with, they all knew as well, bro. Team Humans in the house. Can we get some Team Humans in the chat, bro? Let's see here. I don't think that there's very many people on Facebook. It's only showing one, but I'm seeing a few people comment. If you're on Facebook, what's up? Team Human, what's up, dude? What's up, dude? What's up, Dude, I'm telling you right now, bro. Thank you guys for just coming and chilling, bro. Thank you guys for just coming and hanging out, bro. I learned quite a bit of stuff about the COVID pandemic. Just even asking Webb, bro. Webb's goated, homie. Ain't Webb goated, bro? Like, look at this fucking amazing ass tool that allowed me to just learn all of this information using the freaking information that the government is giving us, right? We're supposed to trust the government. Little do they know, we're building an army. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Being facetious, bro. Oh, God. All right, guys. Let's see here. So let's see here. We got about 40 minutes, bro. We got about 40 minutes. We'll try our best to. I got about an hour left or so with streaming, bro. Let's see here. I've been live for almost 2 hours. Yeah, we can go for about an hour or so. We're probably gonna do another freaking. I'm just letting you know, bro. We're probably gonna end up doing another breathing exercise if you guys are here for it. I'm feeling like I need it, bro. So we're gonna watch the last part of this documentary we've been getting into, which is part 2. Like I said, I like to learn as well. That's why I'm starting to use Webb too as well, bro. So if you're new here, this is how the stream works if you haven't seen it already. Yeah, we got about 40 minutes of part 2. I like to, at the very beginning, for everybody who sees this in the very beginning that might even scroll past before we even get to it all, bro. You know what I'm saying? Before we even get to this part, in the very beginning, I want to give spiritual gold, bro. Something that you can take with you when you close out of the app, no, regardless of how long you stick around for. So if you were here for the mindful message, bro, I hope that I was able to provide that for you today. If you see the mindful message on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube later, if you could just possibly hit the like button there too, if you were here for it. Hopefully, if you weren't here for it, you'll be able to see it later. But I try to give you something you can take with you, bro, something that actually helps humans, right? And then we watch stuff on the internet and just talk about things that are being pushed on my algorithm, and just talking about the things that maybe that I'm only seeing on my algorithmic page, or maybe you're seeing it as well. And then we you know, this week, it's a new thing. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We've just deep dive into Webb for a little segment of the live stream, because I pay for the platform. You know what I mean? I sometimes before I decided to do this, sometimes used it, I sometimes didn't. You know what I mean? So Webb's got way more than Epstein, bro. Like I just showed you with the COVID stuff. They've got UFO stuff, spiritual text, bro. Webb's goated, bro. Shout out Kevin as a human. One day I hope to have Ian Carroll on my stream, bro. I hope to one day have a conversation with him. He messaged me. Only interaction me and him have had is when me and Kevin were starting to link up with Bayer and stuff. He did follow me on Instagram and freaking said he appreciated what I've been posting about Bayer. And it is a goal. It's a bucket list to conversate with Ian Carroll, bro. If you ever see this dude, I appreciate you, bro. You changed my life, bro. There's been so many people actually that have changed my life, bro. But yeah, I appreciate all of you. Let's get into this documentary, bro. So I'm just going to go back a little clicker just so we can all, he's on Twitch right now. We're going to just go back. Scotty Will's in the house. What's up? What's up, Scotty Will? We got Brittany on all platforms, jumping from platform to platform. Thanks, Brittany. Dang, bro, we're getting more and more people on YouTube, bro, like than we have, bro. We got 9 people on YouTube, and the average watch time is 34 minutes, bro. That's what's up. Thank you, YouTube. I need to hit 3,000 hours of watch time on YouTube, and that's like the last step. I got the 1,000 subs. Now I just need to get the watch time, and then I get monetization, bro. I've been grinding. Sharpening that sword, you know what I mean? So yeah, I appreciate all of you guys. Let's get into this. If someone from Twitch wants to go and drop the Twitch link on the YouTube, so people in YouTube, if they wanted to join the Twitch, they could. No obligation. You know what I'm saying? But we do have the Team Human, and all of this live streaming all started on the Twitch. So this is where like the OG Team Human is at, bro. But yeah, if someone from Twitch could go drop the link in the YouTube chat, I would appreciate you.
We know that is Satan. Once they had infiltrated and hijacked the British banking system, they interbred prima nocte with the British royals. We talked about that earlier, remember, where they bred with the local kingdoms there in the 1500s. And they hijacked the royalty systems, the nobility systems that were in place with their own seed, prima nocte. Some experts believe that the Rothschilds genocided the royal family members by staging secretly managed illicit and adulterous breedings with their own Khazarian men in order to replace the royals with their own pretenders to the throne, a practice known as prima nocte, and we all remember the scene in Braveheart when that happened. In the 1600s, the KM murdered the British royals and substitute their own fakes. In the 1700s, they murder the French royals. Right before World War I, they murder Austrian Archduke Ferdinand to start World War I. In 1917, they assembled their KM army, the Bolsheviks, and infiltrate and hijack Russia, murder the Tsar and his family in cold blood. They bayonet his favorite daughter through the chest and steal all the Russian gold, silver, and art treasures. Right before World War II, they murdered the Austrian and German royals. They then rid of...
Tanel, thanks for your first time being here. I appreciate you. Let's go, Team Human. Let's go, Team Human.
the Chinese royals and disempowered the Japanese ruler.
What's up, Scruffmeister? What's up? We got 10 people. Dang, 10 people, bro. 10 people up on YouTube. Hell yeah. 16 on Twitch. What's up, Twitch? What's up, Team Human? What's up, honeybees? Scotty is up in here in the Twitch. You're right. What's up, dude? Dude, let me pull you in close. Can I pull you in close and get a little bit sentimental on your ass? Can I do that? All right, you guys. I'll just be honest, bro. I really feel like the moment that I made like the connection and started building the relationship with like Kevin as a human and like Buyer and Webb, and like I got beta access to Webb before it was even put out, and I literally started live streaming as soon as I did, bro. And here I am today, bro. Like that one little thing right there where they just like seen something in me, bro. Ian or Kevin and the other developers, whoever's involved on that whole team, bro, for whoever's seen my stuff, they just like seen something in me, bro. And it just, that one thing of them just like believing in me and just giving me access early, just inspired like a whole spiral of different choices that I wouldn't have made because I had no intention to like start live streaming, bro. And here I am today, and here all of you beautiful people are today, bro. And I just have to say I'm tremendously and truly grateful for Ian and Kevin, because there's so many of you guys, bro. There's so many of you guys that have come over from their streams, their little their family, or like the people that Ian grew and that Kevin is talking to and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like a part of the crew and shit. And even if it's like from a more even outside thing, you know what I mean? Like, I don't get paid, you know what I'm saying, by any of it. I do it because I like it, bro. And I find value in their product, bro. I find value in Buyer, bro. I find value in Webb, bro. I've been watching Ian Carroll since he started on TikTok, bro. Fucking blacking out fucking grocery store aisles, bro. So thank you guys for being here. For Rizzo, my nizzle. Thank you guys for being here. But let's get back into this.
Realize who you are dealing with in reading these words, folks. They are not kidding around. They are not kidding around. This isn't a joke. They aren't faking it. This is real. This is real. And learning this stuff is how you're going to be able to fight it. This is how you save yourself, by learning this stuff. The Khazarian Mafia's intense hatred of anyone who professed faith in any god but their godball has motivated them to murder kings and royalty and make sure they can never rule. They have done the same with American presidents, running sophisticated, covert operations to disempower them. Remember what I was saying about Reagan? That's what they did. If that doesn't work, the KM assassinates them like they did to McKinley, Lincoln, and JFK. Remember the Clinton body bags? These are the people that are found having committed suicide by shooting themselves in the head twice and hanging themselves. But they committed suicide. Okay. The KM wished to eliminate any strong rulers or elected officials who dared to resist their Babylonian money magic and their covert power gained from their deployment of their human compromise network. The Rothschilds expand their network to create international narcotics trafficking on behalf of the KM. This is now where we're going to get into the Opium Wars. The Rothschilds covertly ran the British Empire. Read that? They covertly ran the British Empire. In other words, they are running the empire. Just past, look at our map here. Look at the map there. Just past the Reformed age, right there, 1760, Bank of England. Remember we read about that? They're running the show. They are entirely running the show by about 1750. They're running the whole thing. They own all the money, and they have regicided all of English nobility. They are running the show. Period. The Rothschilds covertly ran the British Empire and crafted an evil plan to recover the vast amounts of gold and silver the British had been paying to China for its high-quality silk and spices that were unavailable anywhere else. You see, they're still hustling in the silk and spice stuff. The East India Company was their cover for the beginning of the Opium War. The Rothschilds, through their international spy network, had heard of Turkish opium. Here's the spy network. Okay, remember how I said that they had spy networks and that's what saved them from being destroyed by Russia? Here they've got spy networks all over the place, and they have figured out that Turkish opium had habit-forming characteristics. It's opium. Highly addictive. Pleasure.
Wait a second. You're telling me that the people of our ancient past, not ancient, I just used ancient so people know I'm talking about a long time ago, because there's, Tartaria, Lumeria, the 1,000 years that were added on to the Roman Empire, allegedly to make it seem like the Roman Empire was far more superior to other dynasties. There's lots of rabbit holes and potential truths, but it's crazy to think that if we're talking about the Khazarian Mafia, because the reason we're watching this is because I really don't even really know a lot about it. Someone turned me on to this individual, Chuck Swindell Jr., and he's talking about this topic. Found this video on YouTube. So I just decided to watch it because it's something I'm interested in. And if that's the case, that this place called Khazaria, they knew that heroin had behavior changing aspects. What could that mean? That means like your active behaviors, that you can't stay awake. It could kill you. They found that there was dependency. So they knew all the way back then that heroin was something that humans shouldn't consume, that it is highly addictive. That's kind of insane to think about, right? If regardless of whether you think that about anything about the Satanism or whatever it is, bro, it's kind of crazy to just make the connection that if this is what he is saying true, what if Chuck is saying is true, that way back then there's been evidence and people talking about how disastrous heroin is to humans. And if I'm being 100% honest with you, I'm a recovering heroin addict. I have over 7 years clean. Let's see how long to be exact. 2,787 days. I love my life. I would never harm myself. I just feel like sometimes I have to say that. I hate to even say that. Doesn't it concern you that there are content creators out there that feel like they even have to say that? I'm just putting it out there. We'd be talking about some pretty crazy shit, bro.
Drug. They deployed a covert operation to buy Turkish opium and sell it in China. This is all done through the East India Trade Company, infecting millions with a bad opium habit that brought back gold and silver into the Rothschild coffers, but not to the British people. And this is the beginning of the drug wars. What they were doing, they were harvesting, generating, sourcing opium. They were then using the East India Company to haul that stuff over to China illegally, and then they sold it for gold and silver in China, and they were bankrupting China, so China went to war with them. To give you an idea how easy opium is to manufacture, I did a little chart here. I'll read this first. The opium addictions created by Rothschild opium sales to China harmed China so badly that China went to war on 2 occasions to stop it. These wars were known as the Boxer Rebellions, or the Opium Wars. The money the Rothschilds gained from the sale of opium was so vast that they became even more addicted to the easy money than the opiate addicts were to the opium. Opium is...
Dang. They fucking attacked the Chinese, bro, with opium, bro. I think I remember something like that. Hearing about like an opium epidemic in China. Have you heard about that, bro? Have you guys heard about that?
Made from poppy seeds, the poppy plant. The California's national flower or state flower is the poppy. What happens is in the fall or late summer, the poppy forms a pod of seeds. Those are the bottom left, and then you scrape the pod, which forms a latex, which causes a latex-like goo to ooze out of the pod, and it dries overnight and oxidizes. That's why it turns brown. It goes from white to brown. That's oxidation. And then here you see the knife they use to scrape off that opium. That's it. That's it. You simply take the scrapings, you dry them, grind them into powder. That's opium. Think of how easy and cheap it would be to grow this. I mean, poppy's an annual. You can grow poppy. It's so easy to grow poppy. And so this was an easy way. My point here is an easy way to make gobs of money.
It's probably, I mean, who do you think made the most money from this opiate epidemic that the world is currently in, probably in some places? Like is it just the cartels that made money? Do you think so? Do you think that the people who produce naloxone have made a ton of money? What president was named Poppy? Was there a president that was nicknamed Poppy?
Yes, George H.W. Bush, the 41st President of the United States, was nicknamed Poppy by his family. The nickname came from his childhood, evolving from Little Pops after his grandfather.
Weird.
Gobs of money, because you can sell that opium for enormous sums, and you're making it from growing basically annual weeds. So they built an empire on this. The Rothschilds did, and it was so powerful that they eventually went to war. If we look at the map here, I've got the opium wars listed out. Right there in AD 1830, addict China with Turkish opium via the East India Company, and they drained China of precious metals. Shortly thereafter, 1839, so it's 10 years later, all the way up until 1860, 2 opium wars, and China loses both to Europe and France. They lost them both. They used that money to then begin the Civil War and to take over America. And that is the Civil War was funded from opium sales.
If you're just listening to this, he has words that are overlaid saying that he made a mistake. It was to fund the Revolutionary War, not the Civil War. He's going to keep saying Civil War, but the words on the screen say he made a mistake. It's the Revolutionary War.
Out of the Queen in England. And this here I have in red here, I've got it noted. In Russia intervened. And I actually have the evidence. I found it for you guys. I found the evidence of Russia intervening. It's a bit ahead of the lecture, but here's the slide. This is how they intervened in the American Revolutionary War on the left from 1775 to 1783, and then the American Civil War in 1861 and 1865. How Russia intervened, saved our Bohinies, and at the same time, even created even more hatred with the Khazarian mafia. This is why you have heard the narrative from Hillary from the very beginning. Russia, Russia, Russia. Russia is bad. Hate Russia. Destroy Russia. Russia is evil. That's why you're hearing that. That's why you're hearing that. Straight out of the Khazarian mafia. The Rothschilds were the funding source behind the establishment of the American colonies by incorporating the Hudson Bay Company and other trading companies to exploit the New World of the Americas. It was
just 1 second.
It was the Rothschilds who ordered the mass extermination and genocide of the indigenous people of North America to allow for exploitation of the vast natural resources of the continent. The first biological weapons were leprosy, smallpox, and plague. Isn't it interesting that they still use disease as a means of control? I've shown some pictures here of the diseases that they spread intentionally to kill off the Native Americans. There was something like, in the span of about 10 years, at the end of the 1800s, 19th century, over 30 million Native Americans were killed, mostly through smallpox, leprosy, and plague spread by the KM. The Rothschilds start the international slave trade, an enterprise that viewed these kidnapped humans as mere animals, a view that the Khazarians would impose on all the people of the world who were not part of their evil circle, which some called the old black nobility, the old religion. What brought back slavery? Sugar. Sugar, the demand for sugar. Sugar's a drug. The same thing that caused the opium wars is the same thing that brought back slavery. Drugs. Drugs. Sugar is a highly addictive drug. And it was the craving and demand of all the Western, all of Europe, all the West. It was their demand for sugar that brought back slavery. Terence McKenna did a great lecture on that. The Rothschilds' next big project was to start the worldwide slave trade, buying slaves from crooked tribal chiefs in Africa who worked with them to kidnap members of competing tribes for sale as slaves. The Rothschild slave traders then took these kidnapped slaves on their ships in cramped cells to America and the Caribbean, where they were sold. Many died at sea due to bad conditions. The Rothschild bankers learned early on that war was a great...
Dang, bro, Kevin is a Humans up in the house on YouTube, bro. What's up, dude? Kevin, what's up, bro? What's up, G? What's up, G? Hell yeah, I've talked about you a few times today. We actually we did a freaking deep dive into the COVID files about Dr. Fauci using Webb today, actually. Sorry, you did witness that little pan suggestion. How have you been, dude? Just been living, bro. Trying to hit these 3,000 hours watch time, bro. I love you too, bro. We were just watching some shit about the Khazarian Mafia, bro. Pretty insane, actually.
way to double their money in a short time by lending money to both warring sides. You see how it works? But in order to be guaranteed collections, they had to get taxation laws passed, which could be used to force payment. So you've got to corrupt the people in charge, the politicians and the generals. And that's who you see, the Hidden Hand Club. These groups work in clubs. And one of the clubs that we are familiar with is the Hidden Hand Club. And I found a whole bunch of pictures of people that were in the Civil War and people that had huge influence on society. And look how many, all of them are a part of the Hidden Hand. The Hidden Hand means you're a part of the mafia. There's also other clubs. The Black Eye Club, you've seen that before. There's an argument as to what causes that, and I'm not going to dive into that. I'm just going to show you that they're all a part of the Black Eye Club. There's the Red Shoe Club. The Red Shoe, what this is, and most people don't know this, or a lot of people don't know, when these gentlemen here that you see in the picture performed the sacrifice that was necessary for them to be a part of the group, you must sacrifice a child to be in these clubs. That child's skin is then made into leather.
What? Dang, what the fuck? Shit's graphic, huh? To even think about, bro. I just had to say this. I don't know where this is going. I never seen this before, but if he's talking about, he's talked a little bit about it here and there. But if you're sensitive or feel like you can't stay, I understand. Your mental health means more to me than you being on the live stream, bro. So if you have to go, I understand.
And then that is made into the shoes that they wear. So they wear the skin of the child that they raped, tortured, and murdered to become a part of the club. And that is what you see in this picture. These gentlemen are mocking you. They're mocking us and they're laughing at us. Look, it's right in front of you. Look here, the Pope also is in the Red Shoe Club. He wears red shoes. They also are made from children's skin. You don't have to believe it, that's fine. But that's what the tradition is. That's what the red shoe tradition is. And it's to show that we walk on you. That's what they're saying. We walk on you, we control you. They love to put it right in your face. Just like the papal hall and its a snake mouth, they love to put it right in your face, put you in the symbol. They are eating you and you are in the symbol, and they stand there and laugh at you because you don't know that you're participating in their con by being complicit with them. The Rothschild private fiat counterfeit banksters plot eternal revenge against the American colonists in Russia who assisted them for losing the Revolutionary War. When the Rothschilds lost the American Revolution, they blamed the Russian Tsar and the Russians for assisting the colonists by blockading British ships. They swore eternal revenge on the American colonists, just as they had when the Russians and their allies crushed Khazaria in AD 1000. The Rothschild KM attempts to retake America in 1812 on behalf of the Khazarian mafia, but fails, once again because of Russian interference. This failure enraged the Rothschild KM, and they once again plot eternal revenge against both the Russians and the American colonists, and plan to infiltrate and hijack both nations, and asset strip, tyrannize, and then mass murder both nations and their populace. Continuing on, we've been at this for a while. The Rothschilds and their English oligarchy that surrounded them plot ways to retake America, and this became their main obsession. Their favorite plan is to set up an American central bank featuring Babylonian money magic, usury, illegal taxation, aka theft, and secret counterfeiting.
Although geographically
Okay, so before we get into this, it's kind of insane, right? It's kind of insane. I don't know about y'all, but I'll just tell you straight up, bro. That last little bit right there, that was some heavy hitters, bro. That's some like heavy shit to really just think about, bro. Like even the shoes, bro. Like, but we know that these dark and evil groups like to put it right in your face. That's how they like can still in their religion or whatever receive salvation, is they have to be accountable, and so they put it in hidden messages and symbolism so that they feel justified doing the things they're doing. Does that resonate or no? I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm not part of any Jewish religion. I'm not Buddhist. I'm not Hinduist. I really resonate more with like Gnostic, but like I really believe that I really believe Jesus was a homunculus, bro, and that there was a specific sect of Jews at that time, because there were 3 different sects, that they potentially had some secret occult, not occult as in like bad, just occult as in like hidden and like secretive alchemical magical processes that allowed them to create Jesus. Because if you were here for our homunculus journey, it was a 10-hour documentary we watched over multiple weeks. I'll just be 100 with you, bro. Like, the way that the world and the universe works is a law of duality and polarity, right? So there's like opposite and equal spectrums, so like hot and cold and shit. I said that yesterday. So if there's evil, there has to be good, and if you understand the golem or artificial created life, which we're still currently at this time obsessed with, obviously with this new AI stuff, right? But even in our past, the hidden knowledge and the secret societies were all into the occult and magic and symbolism and worship and stuff, you know? I don't know. I just feel like we've been lied to. Do I know what the truth is? No, bro. That's why I'm trying to figure it out. I'm trying to figure it out, and I can't do it by myself, so I like to bring y'all with me. That's what Team Human is, bro. I'm a human, and you're on my team, And you're probably a human. Because most of the time I can tell if you're not a human, because there are sometimes people just come in here and just comment hateful and just weird, crazy stuff spontaneously with no provocation. You know what I mean? No one provoked them. They just come up in here and say crazy shit. That's like a bot probably, you know what I mean? So we're humans like combating like actual bots. They're trying to create robots. The pedophiles. The reptilians. The Greys. The Nordics. The NPCs. The sheeps. The agents for the Matrix. There's like a whole bunch. There's like a whole bunch of fucking different species of beings, right? And that's not even talking if you get into like frequency and vibration, like what's vibrational. You know what I'm saying? Like, then we could talk about like ascension and enlightenment versus like low and dense, you know? That's like multiple, that's like the fifth dimension, isn't it? We're in like the 3D dimension. Time is the fourth dimension. And then in and out at multiple different perspectives is like the fifth, which are maybe like your thoughts or whatever. Crazy. All right, guys. Today's been kind of crazy. I'm actually going to cut it a little bit short today. We're going to leave this last 26 minutes for tomorrow. Probably get into either some other topic for a little while and come back to the Khazarian Mafia. You know, or maybe not. We don't know. If you're here tomorrow, you'll probably be able to help me and assist me in coming up with a decision at that point. You know what I'm saying? You guys want to do some breath work, bro? I need some breath work. Who's here for some breath work or some meditation, or just like whether you even meditate or even do what the video is saying to do, or like how to breathe or what to think about, and you're just like sitting there and just being present in the present moment, bro. Either way, all of it's magical, bro. Oh my gosh. Dude, we have a bunch of new people on YouTube, bro. While I look for this, bro. While I look for this. While I look for this. While I look for this. If you're new today, can you just say hello one more time, bro? Because there's a couple people on YouTube that are brand new. I think they might have even came over to Twitch. Twitch is the OGs. You know what I mean? The home base, just like Melissa said. I appreciate all of you guys for so much, bro. You guys, for real, for real. Let's breathe. You know what I'm saying? Okay, just letting you know, I'm gonna try this first one. Bro. If it doesn't, I'm a weird motherfucker, dude. So if the voice is just like seems off to me and shit, bro, I gotta change the video. But we can give it a try. All right, let's give it a try.
Hi friends, and welcome to today's meditation and breathwork class. Today's meditation will be partnered along with a simple breathwork exercise that is so wonderful in times of feeling unsettled or jittery.
Let's just do this. You good with this one, bro? You guys straight with this one, bro? She sounds all right, right? I think so. All right, guys. Like I said, you probably should, if you can get in a comfortable position, you know what I'm saying? Obviously, if you're driving or doing something active, you know, it's all right if you can't stay. You know what I'm saying? Not ever one time would I encourage you to stay on the live and try and do this breath work if it's not safe for you to do, bro. Ever. Just if you're doing something and you're busy right now and we're about to do this breath work, just remember, bro, when you get home later, you can come back to this, bro. Let's do this 10-minute breath work and light meditation for focus. And if you are a beginning to breath work, it says that it's beginner friendly.
That is so. Hi friends, and welcome to today's meditation and breathwork class. Today's meditation will be partnered along with a simple breathwork exercise that is so wonderful in times of feeling unsettled or jittery. It's a very grounding, relaxing breath that truly helps me come back to my center and focus. This breath is called equal ratio breathing, which means our inhales, our exhales, and our holds will all be the same amount of time. We'll only be breathing through our nose, so this is a very simple breath, but don't worry about doing it perfectly, especially if it's your first time. I promise you'll catch on as we go through the multiple rounds. All right, so settle into your space here, closing your eyes down and coming to a comfortable seat. And releasing your shoulders down your back, but gently extend through your spine and tuck your neck just slightly, allowing it to lengthen. Find yourself sitting tall and with purpose. Relax your face, your jaw. You can remove your tongue from the roof of your mouth and allow some space between your teeth with your lips still sealed. Hands can come down to rest on your knees or in front of you, whatever feels comfortable for you. And we'll start with a cleansing breath in. So take a deep inhale through the nose, filling up the belly, and drawing the breath through the rib cage all the way up into your heart space. And then open mouth exhale to release it all out. One more just like that, a cleansing breath in. And then finding an exhale to release. Good, and now seal your lips and inhale through your nose for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold your breath at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. You're halfway there. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Last one. Inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold at the top for 4, 3, 2, 1. Release for 4, 3, 2, 1. And hold at the bottom for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale here, finding a beautiful breath in. And now an open mouth exhale. Breathe normally here. And simply noticing the journey your breath is taking throughout your torso right now. Maybe visualizing it swirling around in the lungs. Noticing how you feel in this stillness. And receiving any sensations or expansiveness you just cultivated within that practice. And as your breath continues to return to its natural rhythm, you can scan your body and simply notice if you're still holding tension anywhere. And just find a release here. Maybe you gently lift the back of the head towards the sky to kind of elongate the spine. Maybe deepening your breath as you notice the space that's been created in your lungs now. And in this space, just simply invite yourself and allow yourself to relax. And as you continue doing so, continue relaxing, ask yourself, what version of you do you want to be when you leave this space? What is your favorite version of yourself? And how can you become that version of yourself once you leave this mat?
And ultimately, bro, only you get to decide, bro. What version of you are you leaving after this? I'm grateful for you guys. Thank you for keeping me level-headed and grounded and informed and active. I'm grateful every day that I get to do what I get to do. Sometimes it's hard, bro. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's great, ups and downs. It's all about integration, bro, and just coming to the understanding that when you're in the ebbs and flows of life, sometimes when you go to the bottom, bro, the bottom isn't meant to consume you. It's so that you can sharpen your sword. It's so that you can trim the bushes, cut off the energy, hold the boundary, change the behavior, change the thought process, learn about yourself and your responses and how you react to things. Your body is going to show you exactly what to do. Your body's connected to everything you see. It's made up of all the same compounds as the stars in the sky. Quantum physics does say that where your attention goes, energy flows, and where energy flows, matter starts to form. Your intentional observation of things literally changes things at a molecular level, bro. It takes just one decision that's different, bro, and everything can change for the better or the worse. I'm grateful for you guys because we're all trying to grow up in here, you know what I'm saying? We're just a bunch of humans, bro, trying to just figure out what's happening on the planet and how to be a human on the planet. And I really do just appreciate you guys, Team Human, for real. I'll see you guys